The Vermont legislature passed a statewide use of force policy that placed some of the strongest restrictions on police use of force in the nation. Now, some lawmakers under the Golden Dome are looking to make a few clarifying changes, but not everyone is on board. State House reporter Devin Bates with that story.
One of those changes would prevent the use of hindsight when evaluating law enforcement conduct. The ACLU of Vermont believes last year's changes were fine as is and had particular concern with that measure.
By adding without hindsight, our fear is that a future court looking at this would limit their inquiry into specifically the moment right before force was used, not actually take into account all the factors, things such as what happened with the bystanders, the officer's conduct.
The second change proposed in the bill would clarify the definition of a prohibited restraint: any maneuver that applies pressure to the neck that prevents breathing or impedes blood flow, or the use of such maneuver with the intent to cause serious bodily injury or death. Law enforcement officials support that addition, but also want the bill to specify that prohibited restraints can be used in extremely hostile situations.
Removing the officer's ability to use a neck restraint during a lethal force encounter would make an officer resort to other options that may or may not be available.
Some lawmakers have said Vermont's justifiable homicide statute would apply to those lethal force encounters. Jennifer Morrison, the executive director of policy development for the Department of Public Safety, believes that's not the case.
Instead of using a firearm, the officer uses a prohibited restraint, and the incident is resolved without serious bodily injury or death, i.e. the prohibited restraint resulted in a less harmful outcome. The officer would not be protected by the justifiable homicide statute and would theoretically be facing a 20-year felony and loss of certification, etc.
If passed, these proposed changes would take effect on September 1st. Now, last year's use of force bill that set the framework for a statewide policy is set to go into effect on July 1st. Devin Bates, Local 22 News.